This remote island in the western Pacific Ocean is the smallest island nation in the world. It was once known as Pleasant Island, and in 1960s it was the wealthiest nation in the world with highest GDP per capita. Today, it's the least visited country in the world, surviving with average social and economic status. What happened here? Nauru is a small island in the Pacific Ocean, about 1800 miles of Australia and 4.5 hour flight from Brisbane. It is the world's smallest island nation and least visited country in the world. Only about 200 tourists visit every year, and estimates suggest around 13,000 people are living there. The only airport of the island is the Nauru International Airport, and the national airline is Nauru Airlines. The most convenient option is to take a flight to Brisbane, and from there you can take a direct flight to Nauru. Many people do not consider traveling to Nauru Island because of its remote geographical location, expense, and available little information about the country. Measuring just 8 square miles, Nauru is the world's smallest island nation. The first Westerner to visit Nauru Island was the British navigator Captain John Fern, as he sailed past on his way from New Zealand to the China in 1798. He was clearly impressed, calling it Pleasant Island. The island is ringed by coral reef, which makes it an excellent place for snorkeling and diving, but same time prevents it from having any port. There are no rivers, parks, or any World Heritage sites. It's so small that 10% of the country's territory belongs to Nauru International Airport, and the runway stretches almost all the way across the island. The country had just 30 kilometers of roads. Yaren is unofficially the capital city of Nauru. Although it's not a city, it's an area on the southern shore where you will find most of the buildings and the airport. It would take only half an hour to drive around all of Nauru. If you wanted to work, you would spend 6 hours taking a tour around the whole country. Nauru also has a 5-kilometer stretch of railway that was served the phosphate mine. Half of the population in Nauru can speak English. However, the official language is Nauruan, a distinct Pacific Island language that is spoken in most homes. Nauru has the fattest population in the world, and over 70% of its population are obese. Researchers say this is because of the lack of proper nutrition in Nauruans' diets. Many of their diets consist of white rice, instant noodles, imported westernized foods, and soda, with very little fruits and vegetables, though Nauru is abundant in fish, seafood, and coconuts. It's a country without army. The Australia military is responsible for the defense. However, they have a police force which is responsible for security within the country. Nauru's flag consists of blue background representing the Pacific Ocean, a single horizontal yellow strip representing the equator, and a 12-pointed white star which represents the 12 original tribes of Nauru. Nauru uses Australian dollar as its official currency. In 1960, for a long period, rich with phosphate reserves, Nauru had the highest per capita GDP in the world. The phosphates were originated from seabird droppings for centuries. Companies used such phosphates to produce fertilizers, amongst other things. The country's economy boomed, and residents were able to buy cars and large houses, and the government built up the island with impressive buildings and hotels. They even founded its own airline to import Western food. The high income made it possible for the government to stop collecting taxes and provide numerous essential services like education, transportation, and healthcare for free. The country had the biggest phosphate deposits in the South Pacific, but due to their excessive mining activities, the mines were economically unviable, and later, with no other source of income, Nauru's situation became worse. The country used to be green, lavish green, but after 100 years of phosphate mining, it became like this. There were several discussions on moving the entire population of Nauru to an island of Queensland in Australia because scientists considered Nauru would be uninhabitable by the mid of 1990s. But the Nauruans opposed the idea and chose to remain there. The entire center of the island had been ravaged by the strip mining and it was unusable, following by unemployment, corruption, money laundering, and downfall of fishing industry due to climate change. The country was bankrupt. Then Australian government offered monetary help in 2001 to host an offshore asylum processing center. At that point of time, Nauru had no choice but to accept it. Since then, Nauru has been used by Australia as an asylum seeker detention camp. The condition and treatment of the asylum seekers are deeply controversial and has been found to be unlawful by the International Criminal Court. Nauru has witnessed the significant damage that phosphate mining caused, and by knowing it's an economically volatile industry, government took different initiatives that encourage national self-sufficiency in areas like vocational training, transitioning to solar energy, and specialized forms of agriculture. Nauru is also involved in other industries, including immigration taxation and licensing commercial fishing. The Republic of China and Nauru signed a fishing cooperation agreement in 2004 to strengthen trade relations between the two countries. Nauru's 80% land is unusable now due to phosphate mining. The government has initiated National Rehabilitation Program with aim to restore vegetation and improve soil quality in this area. Education in Nauru is compulsory for children between the ages of 5 and 16. There are 11 schools in Nauru, including 3 primary schools and 2 secondary schools. There is a school for children with special needs. Education at these schools is free. Nauru has an exemplary literacy rate of 95.3%. Nauru is not a popular tourist destination, but that's okay. If you want to experience a remote island country, its people, culture, and history, it's great. Some amazing places for tourists are Anibare Bay. This is one of the best beaches in Nauru. Its 2-kilometer long beach attracts tourists with its unusual physical features. Shaped by underwater volcanic activity, the protected bay is extremely safe for swimming, and many tourists come at sunrise for magnificent views as well. You will also witness here the remains of World War II. Japanese army occupied Nauru during the World War II. They left many weapons, guns, and few prisons behind. When the war was over, if you explore the center of Nauru thoroughly, you will find the remains. There are some more places as well, like Yaren's Parliament Building, Buada Lagoon, Mokwa Well and Caves. During 70s, Nauru was the world's richest country, but within few decades, country's economy flipped upside down. Phosphate helped them to rise, but again, phosphate made them fall. Some people call it the nature's resource curse. I wish the country revived with its nature and become green again. My name is Ali, and this is your channel, Finding Places and More. If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you.